We start out telling our parents that we're going to take care of them. They may not have planned financially for their retirement years, or even if they did, we know that they're going to move closer to us or they're going to move in with us so that we can care for them when they can't care for themselves anymore. And then the day arrives. You notice the slight tremor in his hand when he reaches for a coffee cup. And you see the stack of unopened mail hidden inside the kitchen bread box. You smell the faint scent of sour milk when you open the refrigerator door. You feel heavy. A familiar weight is just going to settle on you because the reality is your aging parent is sliding into decline. And the awareness that you now have doesn't always mean we can accept it. And it is one thing we cannot change. We cannot control aging. But later that evening, when you try to bring it up in a group text with your siblings or with even your parents, the reply instantly minimizes your reality. Dad seemed completely normal when I called him on Sunday, is maybe something your brother says, if he even called him on Sunday. Or your sister might say, you're always blowing things up out of proportion. Stop being so dramatic. He's just having a slow week. We've always got reasons or excuses that don't mean anything when we're aging. And suddenly you find yourself carrying the entire psychological burden of the impending crisis all by yourself. Hi, I'm Suzanne Fasella. I'm a retired physician assistant and a senior care strategist. And I show exhausted family caregivers how to break out of the constant crisis management they live in and step into the confident leadership they need to be in, so you don't lose your life in the process or in the journey. Ignoring your gut feelings just because your family disagrees with you is a devastating caregiving mistake. And when you allow a sibling denial to stall necessary safety changes, you're going to end up directly into this emergency intervention. And that way, and when that happens, nobody's happy. When we call an emergency intervention and we get a doctor and a nurse and a social worker and the parents and you and all the family and siblings together, we make quick fixes, but it's not where we want to be. We want to avoid those at all costs. So you are left trapped on high alert and you're waiting for catastrophe to happen so that you finally prove to everybody that you're right. And when your out-of-town siblings brush off your warnings, it is incredibly easy to get furious and deeply resentful. And we are. They're not around. They don't know what I'm talking about. Why don't they come? Why don't we ship mom and dad off to them for a minute? But we don't say things like that. Instead, we get angry. And you assume they are intentionally ignoring the situation to avoid helping. And they may be. But the reality of a family conflict is rooted in a massive data imbalance. They do not know what's going on. First, long-distance siblings suffer from a severe lack of daily proximity. And clinical data from doctors and senior care experts show that a casual weekend phone call is completely insufficient for tracking functional decline. Totally. So your brother doesn't see that it took Dad 10 minutes of physically rocking back and forth in his chair before he gets out. Second, aging parents are masters of a psychological phenomenon called conversational masking. I saw this with my own mother. She could sound perfectly fine with me when my sister was saying something totally different. Seniors experiencing early memory loss rely heavily on deeply ingrained social routines to steer phone chats away from their struggles. Your siblings are basing their entire opinion on a polished 15-minute performance, whether it's with you or whether it's with their doctor or with their siblings. You are basing your opinion on the raw, unedited daily reality of their living environment. You're seeing what's going on. So before we look at how to fix this data gap, take a second to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up and share it. And your quick click will tell the YouTube to push this out to other families who are drowning in caregiving isolation right now, and they need help too. As an adult child, you might begin to question your own judgment. We all do. Partly because we don't want to know that they're changing, and partly because you are grieving for the loss that they are changing, and partly because everyone is telling you you're crazy. But the National Institute of Aging emphasizes that a primary care's personal report of subtle daily shifts is often far more accurate than a single doctor's exam or a casual phone call. Your instinct is built on years of historical baseline knowledge. You register the micro expression of confusion when they look at a utility bill. You spot the slight change in their walking gait that signals a developing balance emergency. You're seeing these things. By the time a symptom becomes obvious enough for a long distance sibling to notice from afar, your parent is already in an advanced safety crisis. I've seen that a million times. So carrying this burden alone triggers a severe invisible stress state. It's called caregiver hypervigilance. And your cortisol levels are sky high because of the stress, making it impossible for you to lose weight, stay fit, eat right, and have your own health stay intact. And your brain locks into a permanent fight or flight survival mode, jumping every time your phone buzzes, laying awake at night wondering if mom's got bed sores, or sits in a wet diaper all day. And according to health tracking data from the University of California, San Francisco Health, living in this chronic survival state causes massive spikes in clinical depression and physical illnesses for you, the caregiver. On top of that, the depression is also because of the grief that you're seeing. Many people feel that we grieve when the person passes, when we lose somebody to death, but it doesn't. We start grieving when we see the losses our parents are experiencing. And this depression and these physical illnesses that caregivers get is the ultimate proof of caregiver burnout. This is what caregiver burnout is. We can't do it anymore. We snap at our other loved ones, like our spouses. We snap at our children. We stop doing the things we used to love. We stop taking vacations. We are passed up for advancements at work. All of these things should be triggers that you are going down that slippery road called burnout, because we can identify it and we can call it what it is. So you cannot hold an aging parent's entire safety together through sheer force. It's not going to work for you. It works for no one, and you're not alone. And you cannot force your siblings to see the truth by arguing with them in a group text or screaming at them at a Sunday dinner. To change the family dynamics, you must swap emotional confrontation for objective, structured data. So this week, keep a cold, hard event log. Stop using vague things like mom snapped at me. Mom's snapping at you because she's tired, she can't think, she's got, she doesn't even know she's snapping at you. I mean, there's so many different things. Start keeping a private log of specific dated anomalies and write them down. November 3rd at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, Dad forgot his evening blood pressure medications, leading to a dizzy spell. November 8th, found 3 utility bills that were overdue 45 minutes in the junk bar, 45 days late. All of these things are important, and they have to be written down. Dad's rocking back and forth in his chair before he gets up because his legs are too weak. Well, his legs are too weak to get him up. What do you think his legs are doing to make him travel and carry the rest of his body from point A to point B? You have to think about these things. So your siblings may not listen to you, but they will listen when you start writing these things down. And then schedule something we call a formal functional assessment. Now, this is wonderful in geriatricians. Those doctors that specialize in geriatrics will absolutely do a great job at this. A functional assessment. Also can get physical therapists who specialize in elder care or senior care to do these functional assessments. Geriatric care managers can do them to some degree as well. You deliver your behavior log to your siblings and to any of these professionals. So let a functional assessment deliver the final safety verdict to your family. So you don't have to play the bad guy anymore. So stop texting your siblings and just start documenting. Don't say a word, just document. Document, document. When you got enough of it down, send it out. Leave a comment right below this video and let me know. Are you the only one noticing these changes in your parents? How is your family responding when you bring it up? And let's map out a care strategy plan together for you, just for this one problem. Because you cannot hold parents together, their physical survival together. You need a plan. And trying to run senior care one thing at a time is just going to exhaust you and destroy your own personal health. Remember, love is not enough. You need a plan. We know that you love them. You just need a plan. You do not need a collection of quick tips. We need to strategize and figure out, most important, when and what's going to change, so we're ready for that, or we prevent that totally in the future. Senior care plans are awesome. Download in the description the 25 most common senior care problems families face every day. I've seen all of them. I've worked with all of them. We've solved all of them. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.